Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. We are doing a special review today, and it is Tiger Force Duke with the Ram. So like I said on our last review, we're going to be doing a lot of odd reviews over the next 5 or 6 reviews. Going to be a lot of repaints and odd stuff. And the Duke with the Tiger Force Duke with the Ram is the beginning of all that. Actually, it was Tiger Force Outback was the beginning of that stretch of reviews. And speaking of Tiger Force Outback, I looked into that. Like I said I was going to, and I did find my Brazilian, or I should say, G.I. Joe in Espanol book, and I was able to find my Tiger Force Outback for that picture of him on his card with his figure there, and a lot of information about that version of Outback, the Tiger Force one. You can see there that the tiger emblem was a lot less pronounced and it was less ferocious. It was more like a kitty cat than it was a tiger. But that's the Tiger Force Outback in from Brazil. It is an expensive figure to get. I do not have it. Like I said, yes, on my last video, uh, it is a friend of mine has it. It's called Jungla, according to this in Espanol, Jungla. Up there, you can read that. Oops, up there, you can read that. It says Jungla. So there you go. Series 3, Jungla. It's in Spanish, so I don't read Spanish that well. I can do a little bit, but not much. And it says it was exclusive, so there you go. So there's Jungla, Outback Tiger Force. Looks pretty good, though, I must say. So I'm glad that I was able to show that off. So as far as the regular Tiger Force, Dan did not have that much in his book on Tiger Force. Dan Klainsmith series, Creating G.I. Joe, there was not a lot on Tiger Force. So I'm not going to go into Dan's book, but there is a little bit of packaging information on Tiger Force from Carson's series. So this is Collecting the Art of G.I. Joe Volume 4, 1988 through 89. And we have Series 1 of Tiger Force, and it shows all the figures. And down in the corner there is Duke. So you can see him on his package, Duke Tiger Force in his vintage package. Basically, it was a repaint of the original Duke, with the exception of they painted over the original artwork. So that is one of the biggest travesties of a Real American Hero vintage G.I. Joe, is a lot of these Tiger Force and another subgroup that we're going to get into shortly, they painted over all the original paintings, and there's proof that they painted over because they found some paintings where it shows some of the original art and some of the Tiger Force art, and so on and so forth. So that is terrible that Hector Garrido had to do that. There's no original paintings for these. They were painted over the original Duke and all the other Tiger Force characters that were used. So that was very sad. So let's get into some of the vehicles. Now, the Ram was never a Tiger Force vehicle in the vintage era. So the Tiger Force vehicles in the vintage era were the Tiger Cat, the Tiger Fly, the Tiger Paw, the Tiger Shark, and the Tiger Rat. So those are all original Tiger Force vehicles in the vintage line for the first series of Tiger Force. They never did the Ram. So that is an original first time Tiger Force vehicle, the Ram, for classified, and is one of the first original new things that classified did. Trying to think of other new classified things. Obviously, they did the movie Snake Eyes Origin figures. They did the Roadblock version 2. Well, I should say the classified Roadblock version 2. They did all the running variants were kind of new. And I think that's it thus far for new for classified. So because we don't have the Tiger Ram, I thought I'd show you one of these instead. And because we are in the throes of the HasLab, I figured why not show you the Tiger Cat, which is kind of a misnomer. It's a double meaning. Tiger and cat, they're both the same. Cat. And so I figured I'd show this off, and the possibility of us getting a Tiger Cat at some point if we get the HasLab funded and we get all those tiers. That would really make me happy. And then a vintage Tiger Force Duke. Tiger Force Duke. Here we go. And he has pretty much all of his accessories. And it is pretty much the same as the vintage, with the exception that they're all different colors. So he looks pretty cool, I must say. He's a little wobbly. But there's your Tiger Force Duke. And then he has his backpack there. Put that on him. There. And he's got a gun. And he's got his Tiger helmet that's kind of brown. So we'll put that on him. Be careful of his hands so we don't get in trouble with his thumbs. There you go. And you have Tiger Force Duke. Now, as far as Sunbow, Tiger Force never appeared, to my knowledge, in Sunbow, or Deke for that matter. This other subgroup that we're going to get into shortly did appear in Deke, but did not appear in Sunbow. So then the comic book appearances of Tiger Force. The first appearance of Tiger Force was Special Missions number 25. And it's very kind of, they wanted a special team to do special missions and things like that, based on the series Special Missions. So Larry wrote it into Special Missions. Let's see if I can get some. So you can see some of the different versions of the vehicles there. You can see Duke punching a guy in his Tiger Force outfit there. So yeah, Tiger Force was kind of an odd thing for G.I. Joe because it didn't really make sense. The other group that I'm going to be getting into shortly, that kind of made sense. They made it make sense. So that was their first G.I. Joe Real American Hero comic book appearance. They may have appeared in Action Force. I'm not entirely certain. So let's see. So then we're going to get into this. Good morning, Lone Dragon. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Cold Slither is finally out for delivery only 3 days later. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're going to get it. That's the main thing, right? Sometimes, like I said in my last video, those shipping things are a little bit funky. But I'm waiting on one of my shipping things to come today, too. I hope it comes at some point before I have to go to my day job. let's get into this. This is number 40. And let's look at his designations, see if there's anything that we can glean from these designations. All right, so we do have light weapons. We have uh, skydiving, which is weird. Skydiving, light weapons. Um, we have. We have leader. So we have leader, we have light weapons, we have skydiving, and the last one we do not have. I'm guessing strategist because it's like a chess piece of the horse. So I'm guessing that's like a strategist or infantry or something, but I don't have that on my list. So I need to get an updated list so it has all these things on there. All right, so beautiful piece of artwork that covers the entire cover of this. And then Tiger Force logo with Duke in the corner. So going forward, some of these packages, they're going to start changing the packages. This is where we're going to end up in a lot of different package formats for a while. And there's another piece of artwork on the side. And like I said, he's number 40. And there's a kind of like a blueprint with him and him on the vehicle itself. So we're going to get into this. Let's open this up. Again, this is the first time we're opening these up. They have never been opened before, and we're going to keep going forward. Oh, and this has got to be the very first one that comes with one of these lockers. So we're going to get into these lockers in a little while. Just hold your horses on that. And so we're going to pull this out. All right. And so we've got all the contents out of there. I'm going to close him up. Put him down here. Let's see. So there's Duke. And on the interior is a Tiger Force logo like the Outback. Let's see if I can get all these ties off. There. Get all the tape off. So again, this was a Target exclusive. They did all the Tiger Force and another subgroup, which I will get into down the road when we hit that point in the numbers. And so he wasn't that difficult, I don't think, to get. I've seen plenty of these out there. I don't think he was that difficult. I think after the Breaker with the Ram difficulty and the Baroness, they made the vehicles a little bit more prevalent, and so they were easier to find. So that was a good thing. But again, like I said in my previous video, they started to make more of this stuff than they probably should have. I think they went too heavy on a lot of these things. But the desire was there, and so they thought that the audience wanted it, so they started making more. And there was a big controversy over that, where the company, the stockholders got upset that they made so much, and it went to Ollie's and all these other places. So that's still going on. So I think they've cut back a little bit on that. So some of this stuff is harder to get, and that's going to be one of the same case with the Tiger. The Snowcat is going to be harder to get because it's going to be fewer made because of the amount of people that are getting it. The FOMO is going to be very big on that after the fact. Um, and I hope people understand if they want this, they need to get it now. And then also on the Snowcat, you have 30 days after the campaign ends to cancel. So it's not like you're stuck and they're going to charge you. They're going to charge you the day after the campaign ends, which is probably on Friday, the middle of the night, Friday sometime. And then you have another 30 days to cancel, even farther than that, away from the campaign. So you have plenty of opportunities to cancel if you don't want this. But if you think you want it or you feel you can get it or whatever, you should just do it now, get it out of the way, and that would be easier on the campaign, that help the campaign grow. So those are some different details that I have not mentioned prior. Let's see if I can get this out. All right. So there's the RAM. Get that off. Yeah. Yeah. Looks pretty cool, I must say. I'm going to put that aside so I can get Duke out. He's giving me a little bit of a hard time. Let's see. I almost have him out. So these ties are a little bit tighter than I thought they were. So I'm going to keep going. All right, so this is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So there's that part. There. There it is. I think I finally got it. All right, I got Duke off. These ties are a little tight, so it's good that they put these in there pretty good. So again, there's the tiger art on the interior there. Put that aside. And then you have Duke, Tiger Force Duke. And again, the colors are a little bit muted on this. They're not as bright as they were. As you can see with this Tiger Force Duke, that's a much brighter green than this is. This is much more like olive, a dark olive, and that's much more of a brighter olive. And the beige pants, the tiger pants, were a little bit uh, uh, faded on that one, and these are a little bit brighter, so they went the opposite with the pants. And this is a new mold. They used some other aspects. Oh, maybe not. Maybe this is version 1 Duke, and the running variant Duke. Yeah, I guess it is, because it has the armor on the legs and stuff like that. He's got this sheath on the side, a holster for his gun. He's got a secondary I can't think of the word for the bandolier, and he's got a secondary waist with pouches and stuff like that. But he looks really cool. I like the fact that they uh, did um, did Duke first as the leader. Uh, yeah, this is the old Duke. Uh, uh, yeah, it is the old Duke. You're right, Lone Dragon. It's just different elements that look like the newer Duke. Maybe I thought, okay, but it is the old Duke because he's got the shin guards and the knee pads. But overall, it doesn't look too bad. I like the update. They gave him a red shirt for the collar, and he's got like a t-shirt underneath there, and his head's got like a faded paint job on the head and stuff like that. And I think the face printing is really good as well on this one. I think they upgraded him pretty good. Um, there's a lot of different paint decos, silver and grays, blacks, greens. He's got all the normal. Now that's something new, right? Is the he's got all the updated articulation because he did not have the original did not have the shoulder, the butterfly shoulder articulation. So that is new. So they did change that. So I'm not sure if they took this mold and changed it. He only has the wrist articulation there. He doesn't have the secondary wrist articulation. He has the pinned knees, pinned elbows. He's got the ankle rockers. He's got the ab crunch, the waist, the normal new head articulation. But he definitely has some new articulation that was not on the first version, the Duke 1 and the running variant. So there is a couple of new things on this. He's got the double pin elbows and stuff like that. So they did do some differences on this one. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's the upper torso. They took that from another figure. I'm not sure which figure they would have got it from, though, off the top of my head, because there hasn't been a lot of figures that have been released for the Joes up to this point. We're only up to 40, so there hasn't been a lot of Joe releases so far. All right, so let's get to his locker. Now, this is where they start doing a lot of stuff with the packaging, and they changed some of the packaging to include these lockers, these little locker things, which I like because it kind of harkens back to Sigma 6, which Sigma 6 used to do that when they came out. And I kind of like that a lot. Because you could store all their gear and stuff like that, and you could use it for like a play set or whatever, part of a play set, or use it in a background or whatever. So it's really cool. The artwork's really cool. It says Duke and Ram on there. On the front, it has number 40. It's like a royal blue. Looks really cool. I like it a lot. I wish they had kept these lockers. I'm probably one of the people in the minority that wants the lockers, but I just think they're neat. I'm going to put that right there. And then I have these packages that have to be opened, so excuse the noise. Good morning, Krusty Old Crow. Thanks for joining us. We're doing Tiger Force, Duke, and the Ram. Good morning, Super Dave. It's funny they still did it. Give that Ram and ammo drum for that Gatling gun until it went to Night Force. Yeah, so far all these different Rams have been different. They've been slightly different. which is good that they're not identical. It gives some variety, I guess, to this, so you're not getting the exact same thing. It's like when they take tooling and they reuse some of the tooling for different things. They give it different paint jobs. They give it different decos. They give it different things. So I think it's good that we have a variety and it's not exactly the same across, because that would kind of be boring if that all they did is duplicate the exact same thing over and over and over. So I'm kind of happy that they did that, Crosshair Crow, just for variety's sake. So this comes with all of his weapons, and it comes with the Gatling gun and the all the accessories for this. So so it comes with this cool Cobra and Joe packaging. There, I'll put that down there. Let's see. So we're gonna get into some of his gear first, Duke's gear, and we'll put the rest of this stuff together in a minute. So we have his backpack. His backpack is a little bit different than the vintage. The vintage was, I guess, airborne, and who else's backpack was that? Several people's backpack that Duke had, because he came, I think, after airborne, so he ended up with airborne's backpack, and he has the familiar shovel on there, which is kind of cool. And this is like a drab navy green that's a little bit brighter, in fact, than the shirt that he's wearing. He's wearing a much darker, like olive color, and then the backpack is more of a drab green. So there is a difference, and so the secondary is kind of in the way of the backpack a little bit. So we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if it stays on. Uh, I'll watch that. But there you go. He has his backpack. Um, let's get into some of these accessories. Let's see. What is this? This is some sort of a pouch. Either, I don't know what it is. It's like a maybe a communicator of uh, some sort of a communicator. And there's a little hole on the side of his belt here with all these pouches. So I'm gonna try. There's a little knob there. I'm gonna try to plug that in there. See if it goes. Yep, it goes in there. So that's a radio, and it goes on that belt there. All right. So then he has a futuristic revolver that looks pretty good, and that's probably the same revolver that he came with on the original. And he has that holster on his right leg, so we're going to plug that into that holster. There. There. All right. So we got that into his holster on the side. He's coming together really nice. He's a bit shaky. Maybe that was me trying to get him out of the package. Maybe I loosened him up too much. I don't know. All right, so let's see what else he comes with. He comes with this little thing, and there's something inside, and it's a gun. Now, this is interesting. This is the vintage version of that gun. And I think that's interesting because he did not come with this originally. The other Duke did not come with this. Neither did the running variant. But it matches the Duke gun that is in the vintage one right there. And it's a new weapon. I don't think we've gotten this weapon, to my knowledge, up until this point. This is figure 40. So this is a new gun for this. And so I'm going to put it on him for now. We'll probably end up having to take it back off at some point because we're going to put him on the Ram motorcycle. Get him into action mode. Now, let's see. I had a little bit of a hard time getting the other one on the vintage Duke. Let's see how much difficult I have with this one. Nope, no trouble at all. There it is. There's Duke with his gun and looks pretty cool. Looks very action oriented. I think they did a good job with these first two figures, Tiger Force, Outback, and Duke. I think they make a good starting point for Tiger Force. And the thing about Tiger Force is there's always new things being added to Tiger Force, so it hasn't ended yet. There's still new things. Obviously, with the Ram, it it shows that they are still adding new elements to Tiger Force. In the 2000s, there were lots and lots of new characters added to Tiger Force, and then in the club, there were lots of new vehicles that were added to Tiger Force. So that's the thing. I don't think Tiger Force will ever end. Um, Maybe the exclusivity to Target will end, but Target Force I don't feel will end. So let's see. Now we're going to try to get to his Gatling gun. Now this Gatling gun has been on the previous Tiger Force with Ram Breaker, but they painted this one all red, and it kind of matches his T-shirt. And there's a cool Tiger Force tampo there. If you can see that, looks really cool. I like the color of this actually. It is like I said before, muted. So if he needed to, he could use this by itself. But I'm not going to give it to him by itself. I'm going to place it inside the um, Gatling thing here and plug this together. And it's a red and gold tiger motif on both sides of this Gatling holster, or Gatling apparatus, I should say. And it has a little bit of wheel here. Let's see. There, I got it in the apparatus, and then the apparatus plugs onto the side of this like that. There, you hear that click. That means it's on there. So it's clicked on there. You got the Gatling gun, and I like the fact that they did the different red deco on there. There's a lot of greeble in those controls. There's a lot of greeble in the engine and stuff like that. You can't get it because I put the Gatling gun there, but maybe you can get it on that side. There's a lot of really good detail. I like the first one of this, and I thought it was a really nice upgrade. Let's see, there's a tampo on here. This is G.I. Joe MG 1027. So I'm guessing that's some sort of designation. Then there's another tampo over here, a little silver tampo. I think it's a Tiger Force logo tampo. But I've always liked Tiger Force. Whenever it came out and I was a child, I was like, holy cow, they're redoing all these cool characters in this really beautiful new deco. And I got them right away. The first wave, I got all right away. I may not have gotten all the vehicles right away, but I did get the figures all right away. And then there's a large tampo of the Tiger Force logo right there. I don't know if I showed that off. So I'm just going to put that here with Duke for now. I'm not going to put Duke on that yet. Maybe down the road when I put that in my display, I'll add him to it. When I start putting a lot of stuff into this display, I haven't had the time to really do it, get the display up and going, other than that class of the vintage, not vintage, the 4-inch O-ring Sky Striker at the moment. So there's Duke and the Tiger Force Ram. So like I was saying earlier, I showed off the Tiger Cat because we want to check on the HasLab Tiger Snowcat to see where we're at. And we are, let's see. We are currently 8848. So we're almost to 9,000. and we have 2 days, 13 hours, and 57 minutes. So that's 2 days and like almost 14 hours. So we're getting there, and I hope we can break that 9,000, and it would be great if we could break 10,000 today and get Lady J today. Um, so I gave a bunch of information different than I have in the past on the the snowcat, where you don't need to necessarily have to, if you don't feel comfortable with it and you don't feel you can get it, then just don't do it. Don't get it. But if you can and you want to, you have um, till Friday before they take the money out. So you can still back it, help the numbers, help the metrics. And then you have, if you do and they do charge you, you have another 30 days to cancel your order. You don't, it doesn't necessarily have to be charged. You just got to keep track of that. And if you want to cancel, then cancel down the road. But there's some options here. And like I showed earlier, there's a possibility down the line. Lenny and them in one of the interviews said that we could possibly get repaints of HasLab vehicles 3 years after their initial release. So it's been 3 years for the Hiss. So I would love to get repaints of the Hiss in two distinct versions. I would definitely love to get the septic tank Hiss or the Arctic Hiss. And the fact that we've got the Snowcat HasLab going, it would make perfect sense to get the Arctic Hiss to go with that as a kind of a PulseCon orderable type situation, and just don't even put a figure with it, because we have the Arctic Bats. We can have the Arctic Bats as the pilots for the Hiss and make it as cheap as possible. Make it like 125 or something like that. Take out all the bells and whistles, give it a cool Gatling gun or whatever. Make it really nice, like the Target exclusive Arctic Hiss that came out in the 4-inch era. I think it's doable. I really do. And I think the septic tank is also doable. And the fact that Lenny has said that he would love to get Cesspool in the line, and we're getting zombies and we're getting all this cool technology with the crystal ball and the ghost vipers and all that stuff. I think we could get the septic tank in the future, and that would come with a cool water powered like Gatling gun of some sort on the top. And then again, don't have a figure with it. Don't have a driver. Use whatever figures you release in the main line to drive the septic tank, either a septic zombie or something like that, or maybe even the mole rats or something else. So make it as cheap as you can as a PulseCon funded situation. But those are the two Hiss versions I would love to see, and I hope we can get those. It would just be phenomenal. And then we have the Rattler. Obviously, we could get the Tiger Fly, and then we have the Dragon, the Rattler. We can get the Tiger Rat as well. So those are all possibilities for Tiger Force down the road. And then you could stick different figures with those vehicles. You can get the Sky Striker Tiger Force figure that we haven't gotten yet. That's the only way you would get them, is if you got them with a Rattler or a Dragonfly. And then some of the other characters from the 2000s that we never got. So there's a lot of possibilities for repaints on these vehicles 2 or 3 years, 3 years later, like Lenny said. So we need to get the Snowcat, because there's 3 or 4 different versions. There's the Havoc Mark II variation of the Snowcat. There's the Cobra version of the Snowcat that's red and blue. That's really cool looking. That was during the 50th anniversary. And then, of course, the Tiger Cat. are the most distinctive variations of the snowcat that we could possibly get in the future. So please, because if we don't get this uh, funded and we don't get this so we can get all these tiers, we're probably not going to get the tiger cat at all. So we want this, and we want these possibilities in the future. So I hope you guys can do it if you can. If you can't, I understand financing and all that stuff and all the pre-orders that are coming in and stuff. I understand. I'm right there with you. I'm having to budget to make sure I have the money for this as well, because it is going to be about 338 or whatever with the taxes and everything. Again, get the shipping through Pulse Premium membership canceled, so you don't need to worry about the shipping. It includes HasLabs, it includes PulseCon exclusives and stuff like that. So 90% of what I order, I try to order through PulseCon so I can save the money on that shipping. So that's another option for you there. So this is a really fun video. It's a different kind of video. We went into a lot of different things with this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And so they did not use the back packaging that they used for the Outback, that weird, cool jungle packaging, but we will see that again in the future. So we're going to get into some odds and ends, like I said at the beginning of this. And we're going to start looking at the vintage package figures. I have decided to figure out where I felt that began, and every 5 figures we will do a vintage package figure, and I will open up a new version of a vintage package figure. So this is 40. So the next figure is going to be a vintage package figure, and I'm putting them in the order that I feel is the best order. So when you see it, you'll understand, and you'll probably be able to figure out the order that I'm going to do. So every 5 figures, so we'll do 40, then a vintage, 45, then a vintage, 50, then a vintage, 55, and a vintage. And so that spreads all those vintage figures out every 5 figures. And I think that's a good way to stretch that out. And so we're going to get into some interesting stuff with some of those vintage package figures and some controversial elements of those figures as well. So the next I would say 6 or 7 videos are going to be very interesting. A lot of cool stuff. So make sure you like, share, hit that notification button. If you haven't, all you guys that are in the chat are always in the chat, which I appreciate. Really, you guys come at all different times when I do these videos. They're not very long videos, most of them, but I do appreciate you coming in and chatting with me and asking questions and being a part of this. It's fun. I'm doing it for you guys, and I hope you're enjoying it. If there's any questions you guys have, now is the time to ask. I'm going to keep you updated. I've got a regular video probably tomorrow to do some reviews of some new stuff that's coming in, and we will try to do updates on the HasLab every day leading up to the final night. I will be on a toy kind of mood on Wednesday night, going over different possibilities for characters in the future based on what has been released, parts that have been released, accessories, different figure stuff. And we're going to have a really fun video on a toy kind of mood. It'll be my first time on a toy kind of mood with the guys, and I've been a very big fan of that show for many, many years before it was called a toy kind of mood, in fact. Thank you, Lone Dragon. I appreciate it. And so please tune in. It would be Pacific time will be at 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening. Eastern time will be, I think, 10 o'clock. The middle of the country will be, depending upon where you are, maybe 8 or 9 or something like that. So that's going to be a fairly large video, and there's going to be a lot of cool stuff that we're going to go over. And it was a topic that I suggested. So I'm glad that they chose to do that, and they included me in the video for that episode. So look forward to that. And I'm also possibly going to be on another podcast on Thursday night. I don't want to give it away right now until it's firmed up and confirmed. So keep an eye out on those, and I will update you as the days go by. So thank you again. I appreciate everybody in the chat, and thank you guys all who watch after the fact. It really makes me happy that you're involved and you've got some impact with these videos, asking questions and stuff like that. So I guess that does it for this one. Again, this is another G.I. Joe. So we're going to say, Yo, Joe. We'll see you in the next one.